Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, what's up? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified when I post new videos every week. So I am back with another Watch Me Work. However, I wanted to try something a little bit different this time. I'm going to be doing some Halloween nail art on my customer. And if you've seen any video where I'm talking about nail art, then you know I use the Young Nails gel nail art paints. And if you've seen those videos, you know my struggle with keeping those looking neat and clean. And while I love them, they can be a little bit messy and they just look nasty sitting on my dresser. So what I decided to do is reach out to Madam Glam and take a look at some other things that they have to offer when it comes to nail art. So I have a new brush right here. I have some gel paint. So I want to give these a go as I'm doing my customers' Halloween nails. So we're going to start that right now. Okay, so this is the Madam Glam kit that was sent to me. I chose a couple brushes and a couple different gel nail art paints that I wanted to work with. So this is their professional line of brushes. They have so many brushes to choose from. I chose the liner and the ombre brush because I use the liner brush the most in any type of my nail art. And I don't own an ombre brush. So I just said, let me get something that I actually don't already have. And they have about 5 or 6, maybe even up to 8. This is their professional nail art brushes. And you see that they're really nice. They come with a nice cover, nice little grip. I love when it kind of gets a little slim right here because that's good and comfortable. So this is the ombre brush, and you can see that it has the bristles that are heavier. Let me put a little acetone. This is a little new, so I gotta break this in. Okay, so you can see now that it's wet, it's a little bit thicker, and then it has that little faint thing. So while yes, you can kind of do this with your own brush, I've tried to do this and create my own ombre brush, but it just really doesn't work the same. So I definitely wanted to have something like this on deck because again, I don't own anything like this, so I wanted to go ahead and make sure I cop that. So I also wanted to get a detail liner brush. So this is always my go-to brush. You guys know I do a lot of my nail art between this and the striping brush. This is what I use the most. So this is just a nice one. They have a couple different liner brushes. They do have the long striper brush. You have another longer liner brush if that's something that you need. And this is just very thin. And again, has this nice cover. So if you are interested in any of these, I can go ahead and I'm going to leave a link in the description box below, and you can go ahead and purchase that and take a look. Definitely take a look, because the thing is, if you are into nail art or seriously about to get into nail art, you have to invest in good brushes. And like I said, while I love my Beetles brushes, it's just, they do get a little worn. So I wanted to try something a little bit different, and I need a little bit more variety. So also I was given some of their gel paint. So I chose black, white, and silver because these, out of everything I use, these are my 3 that I choose to always kind of go with. You can never have too much black and white. So I'm just going to open this up. Okay, it is sealed. I knew that was going to happen. You know that feeling when you like, don't stick your finger in there because it's going to be a mess? That's it. I knew that was going to happen. So let me grab my tweezers and take off this. Oh, I can already tell it's nice and pigmented. Look how dark it is. But we can see already this is nice and pigmented. I love that. It's nice and dark. Because the thing is sometimes, and I want to open the white one, because sometimes these gel paints tend to be like very watery. And I love this. And guys, I'm opening this for the first time, obviously on camera. And you can see that it was just sitting. And you see how nice and white it looks. Because I'm not trying to discredit anybody. But let's take a look at my Young Nails one. When I open my Young Nails one, I always have to, and this has been sitting, I haven't been to work in a few days. So you see how this tends to look, if I can. You can see Do you see all the straininess? I always have to mix these when they sit. They tend to separate. You see that little blob on the corner? You can see that it needs to be mixed. So while they are nice, if I do forget to mix them and I dip and I do that first stroke, it could be problematic. So I love that this is already nice and pigmented. And while we're here, let's just open up the silver. And they have a whole bunch of colors. Again, I just chose these 3 because these are the colors that I use the most, especially black. I'm trying to not get glitter everywhere. Oh, this is pretty. This is very, very pretty. So you see this is the silver. And let's compare this to the silver that I currently use. Do you see this? This is the problem. This right here is the problem that I have with these. Like they're nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking Young Nails. If you use Young Nails, do you? But I needed other options. And so we have this one. So again, you see like I have to mix it up. It gets a little like runny. Whereas this is nice and pigmented, so we can see the 2 of them together. You can see how this one is shining. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up. My customer is on her way, and we're going to do some Halloween nails. She is going to be dressed as Beetlejuice for Halloween, so we're gonna be doing some Beetlejuice inspired nail arts, and I get to use probably all of these colors. And I'm probably not gonna be using the Ombre Brush in this tutorial because I don't think her design requires me to do anything ombre, but I'm definitely gonna give this guy a go, and we can get into that right now. Okay, so she's all filled and ready to go. I'm just gonna wipe the nails down and cleanse them, make sure there's no dust and debris. So first we're going to take out her sketch. Yes, do not judge her. If you follow me on Instagram, I had to post this. She is the one that drew her nails out because she's serious about her Halloween nails. She's also the one that I used last year for my Jason and Halloween inspired nails. So if you missed that, I will leave a link right there and you can check it out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and paint the base colors on all the nails so we have the backgrounds. So this customer decided that she wants to do Beetlejuice inspired nails. So she's going as Lydia in Beetlejuice and her friend is going as Beetlejuice, and the end scene when the 2 of them are getting married. So she wanted one hand to reflect the red and black of Lydia's kind of dark wedding that she was going to have, and one hand is going to represent Beetlejuice. So the red and the black hand that you saw me just paint, that was her Lydia hand, and then we have the Beetlejuice hand that we're going to be designing. So after I did that off camera, I did a second coat of polish, and now we're ready to start designing the nails. So I ended up using the ombre brush because I had this idea. I made some adjustments to her sketching, and we wanted to give this nail, the pinky and the thumbs on both hands, just a dark look. So I saw an image on Instagram that kind of was a little bit lighter as the nail got towards the center. So I decided to just use the liner brush and paint a nice black line around the nail. It's a little heavy on the painting and it's just very thick. Dipped my brush into the acetone, which you see, and then I'm going to use that ombre brush to give me the effect of the black coming in and getting a little bit lighter on the nails. So I'm just stroking it and bringing it in. Like I said, that line was a little heavy, so I had some extra paint on the brush to just kind of bring it in onto the nail. So we did that for both the pinky and the thumb on both fingers. And then I went ahead and used the Madam Glam black ink kind of blooming gel just to give me a nice darker effect on top of that nail. So I wanted to kind of disguise all the lines. And this nail's just supposed to be dark and dreary. She didn't want to design on every single nail. So this was just something to kind of bring the two hands together. And we ended up really liking those nails. And she actually said a couple days later that most people that saw her nails, they really, really liked those nails a lot because it had a really cool effect, especially adding the black ink on top of that. Moving on, for this finger, she wanted it to say, I heart Beetlejuice. I had the idea to make the heart 3D, so we're gonna go to do that afterwards. So right now, I'm just gonna use that same liner brush and the black gel paint to write I Beetlejuice, and then I'll do the heart with acrylic after that. Just a little tip, if you're ever writing anything on the person's nails, and I learned this actually in watching a lot of cake tutorials and when they write on cakes, you always want to start with the middle letters. So if you start with the middle letters and work your way towards the end and then rewrite the beginning letters, it ends up balancing out the nail so you're not off. You don't want to start with the first letter and then you run out of space by the time you get to the second letter. So you start with the middle letters and work your way that way. It's just a little bit easier, a little tip if you are writing on someone's nails, especially the narrow nails. Back on the Beetlejuice side, we're going to be doing some stripes in the background. This nail is going to have a green drip in 3D. Again, I wanted to bring some more texture to her design. Her original design was just like a flat thing. And I was like, it would be really cool if we could get that blob to be like 3D. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the stripes and then we'll do all the acrylic stuff after everything's painted. And again, a little tip from me to you is that when you are doing any type of stripes or lines, you always want to have your background color, do your first set of stripes, and then just go back over with that first color. So I'm just going in between those black lines to cover. That will crisp up your lines for the final product. Still on the Beetlejuice hand. For this nail, when I did her fill-in, I filled it in with a little bit of green glitter because I wanted a little bit of a green to kind of pop out through the back of the nail. She has showed me an image of a tuxedo, a suit, again, to represent Beetlejuice's getting married. And I didn't want to just like do green polish in the background. So I said, let's just do acrylic. And I think she needed that nail replaced anyway when we did the fill-in. So I was like, I'm just going to fill it with green. And so we're going to draw a suit on top of this nail. So, and then you get those little hints of green. And again, that's going to kind of match with the green blob that's going to be on the striped finger. Now I'm just drawing the tie on the suit, and I'm going to be curing obviously in between. And then I'm going to I wanted to give some pinstripes to the suit. Again, it was a little different than the image that she showed me, but you know, you always got to change things depending on the person's nails. Not every image can translate to somebody else's nails exactly the same. You always do want to have your own creative touch to any type of nail art you do, whether it's making it better or just different. So for the middle finger on that Beetlejuice hand, she showed me another image and it says it's showtime and it has a little bit of a green outline to it. So I'm just writing that onto the nail and then I'll highlight it with a little bit of the lime green again to go with the Beetlejuice colors. And it was so easy to use this brush. It was very thin, very like pointy, and it just made the writing so much easier because there were times when I thought maybe I'd use my other brush. You can see it in the background, but then I ended up not wanting to use it and I went back to the Madam Glam. So I have to say this is definitely going to be my go-to brush for writing and doing any detailed work. And it was very easy to work with. I loved it. So after I did that, everything is cured, top coated, matted, everything is done. So let's go ahead and do the 3D stuff. So I'm using a little bit of Valentino purple, the bright purple. I wanted to do purple. She wanted a red heart, but I was like, let's do purple. Let's tie it in just a little bit with the purple that's on the opposite hand. So we go ahead and made a 3D heart onto that I Heart Beetlejuice nail. When that's done, I'm gonna go with some Valentino in a nice bright lime green, and I'm gonna create a drip effect on top of that striped nail. So this was very simple to do because I've never done a 3D drip. And to be honest, I don't really feel the way my drips come out. You don't see me post that much. I'm not a drip person, but it was very easy because I started doing it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let the acrylic do its thing. And I placed it on the nail, held her finger down and kind of sometimes even shook it down and just let that wet bead just run. And it did its thing. It let it drip. And for that final nail, I wanted to, again, give it some texture. So I'm just doing a spider web on that finger. So I'm using the gel black paint to paint the spider web. And then I'm going to put a little bit of red glitter on top of that and then put it into the UV machine to create that sweater nail textured look. So it has some type of pop and life to that finger. So everything is done, top coated, oiled up, lotioned up, and this was the final look. And she loved it. I loved it, and it came out great.